What if I told you there was an army so scary that entire cities gave up before the battle even started? No swords clashing. No big fight. Just fear. Sounds impossible, right? But here's the crazy part: this really happened. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how they did it and why even hearing their name made people panic. Let's dive in. Most armies fight using weapon swords, arrows, guns, or tanks. But this army had something even more powerful. They used fear as their main weapon. Before they even arrived, stories spread everywhere. People whispered things like, "They destroy everything, no one survives." These weren't just random stories. They were carefully spread to scare people. Now imagine you're living in a city and you hear this army is coming. Every single story says the same thing: complete destruction. What would you do? Would you stay and fight, or would you run away? Most people didn't even wait to find out. They surrendered. And that's exactly what this army wanted: win without even fighting. Now here's where things get really wild. This army didn't move like normal armies. Most armies travel slowly. They carry heavy equipment, move in large groups, and take weeks or months to reach their target. But this army? They were fast. Extremely fast. They rode horses, multiple horses per soldier, so they could switch when one got tired. That meant they could travel huge distances without stopping. Sometimes they would appear hundreds of miles away in just a few days. Think about that. It's like someone showing up at your house instantly, even though they were supposed to arrive next week. No warning. No time to prepare. People didn't even know what hit them. And because they attacked so suddenly, their enemies were always confused and scared. Now you might be thinking, okay, they were fast and scary, but were they organized? Oh, they were more organized than most armies in history. They used a simple but powerful system. Groups of 10 soldiers. Then 100. Then 1,000. Then 10,000. Everyone had a place. Everyone had a job. And here's the strict part: if one person ran away or made a mistake, the entire group could be punished. Sounds harsh, right? But it made everyone trust each other and work together perfectly. No one wanted to be the reason their team got in trouble. So they became incredibly strong as a unit. Like a perfectly working machine. But here's the most terrifying part. They didn't just fight battles. They attacked people's minds. Sometimes after winning a battle, they would let one person escape. Just one. Why would they do that? Because that one person would go to the next city and say, "Don't fight them. You will lose." That single survivor became a messenger of fear. And fear spreads fast. It's like when someone tells a scary story at school and suddenly everyone is talking about it. By the time the army arrived, people were already afraid. And when people are scared, they don't fight well. Now here's something really smart about this army. They were always learning. If they saw a new weapon, they figured out how to use it. If they entered a new land, they learned how to survive there. Mountains? No problem. Deserts? Still no problem. Cold winters? They were ready. They even took skilled people from places they conquered, like engineers and builders, and made them part of their army. So every time they won, they became even stronger. It's like gaining new powers every time you defeat a boss in a video game. They didn't stay the same. They kept improving. At the center of all this was their leader, Genghis Khan. Now, you might think he was just strong. But he was actually very smart. He didn't care if someone was rich or poor. If you were skilled and brave, you could become a leader. That was very different from other armies, where only rich or noble people were in charge. But he was also very strict. If someone failed badly or disobeyed orders, there were serious consequences. So everyone gave their best. No excuses. This created an army where every single person was focused and determined. Now let's talk about something even more interesting. They didn't just attack randomly. They planned everything. Before going to war, they sent scouts and spies. These people would gather information. How many soldiers does the enemy have? Where are their weak points? What is the land like? Are there rivers, mountains, or open fields? So when the army attacked, they already knew what to expect. It wasn't luck. It was smart planning. It's like playing a game where you already know your opponent's moves before they make them. That gives you a huge advantage. And they used it perfectly. Now here's something a lot of people don't realize. This army didn't start as the strongest. In fact, they came from very tough conditions. They lived in harsh lands where survival was not easy. They didn't have big cities or lots of resources. But instead of being weak because of that, they became stronger. They were used to hardship, used to adapting, used to finding ways to win even when things were difficult. So when they faced large, rich empires with huge armies, those empires weren't ready. They had more resources but less flexibility, more soldiers but less discipline, more comfort but less toughness. And that made all the difference. Over time, this army built one of the largest empires in history. They conquered massive areas across Asia and Europe. But what made them truly terrifying wasn't just their victories. It was their reputation. Even after they left, even after years passed, people still told stories about them. Stories of speed, fear, and unstoppable power. Their name alone was enough to scare people. That's how strong their impact was. So who were they? The Mongol army, led by Genghis Khan. They weren't the most advanced. They didn't have the fanciest technology. But they were one of the most terrifying armies the world has ever seen. Because they didn't just win battles with weapons. They won with fear, speed, intelligence, and strategy. And here's the biggest lesson you can take from all of this. Being strong isn't just about muscles or weapons. It's about thinking smart, adapting fast, working as a team, and understanding your opponent better than they understand you. If you enjoyed this story and learned something new, you're going to love the next video where we break down a single battle that changed history forever, so make sure you subscribe and don't miss it.